So when you want to talk about the 21-foot rule, there's actually a lot of things involved. And I would say this is something important, is the issue of timing. Getting out immediately is not necessarily the best tactic. You have to get out on the right timing, at the right angle, with the right footwork. And there are different angles that you can get out on, and there's different directions that you should go depending on how he's being attacked. I mean, it depends on which angle he's coming at. I mean, he could be coming down this way, or he could be coming down this way. And the answers to all those questions have nothing to do with guns. The answers to the questions on at what angle do you get out, at what timing do you get out, it's all about understanding the blade. So the gun guys don't really have the answer to the 21-foot rule. The blade guys do, because it is an attack by a blade. Therefore, the answer is to be found with the blade guys. And you can get out right away, but you need some incredible footwork to make that work, because you can be tracked. So this comes back to getting out with the proper timing, at the proper angle, and the proper direction. And backpedaling does not work. Can I say that again? Backpedaling does not work. And I, for one, will not bet my life on a bullet stopping an attack immediately. And, you know, if you don't believe me, then go Google something. I don't care how many times somebody's been shot. They don't always, you know, fall down, stop their attack, or, as in the movies, fly through a window, okay, across the room. So, so anyway, when you talk about the 21-foot rule, the blade people, or the people that more have the answers, I saw one guy on YouTube that the guy was coming toward him. He was actually closer to 21 feet, but he's trying to do this in context of the 21-foot rule, and he was trying to, you know, parry the blade and things like that. Well, there's a big problem with that, and part of it's just conceptual. My focus, if somebody's charging me with a blade, is on getting off the X. Okay, I'm getting out of the way, and acquiring my weapon is absolutely secondary. If I have the coordination and the time to get out and draw my weapon at the same time, fine, I'll do it. But that's not my primary concern. My primary concern is, you know, there's several feet of sharp steel coming my way that's going to take parts of my body off. So I have to get off the X, and then everything else is secondary. You know, if I can do it all at the same time, that's great. But primary is getting off the X, making sure that he doesn't hit home with his attack, and then attacking back is secondary. And a lot of the 21-foot rule, and you know, I do troll sometimes on the internet. Duh. I do troll sometimes on the internet, and that's okay. I laugh my butt off, actually. It's fun for me to you know, to troll. Anyway, a lot of the 21-foot rule, and I'm guilty of it too, degenerates into, well, I'm the blade side and I'm going to win. And so you basically shut down your mental functions, because it all becomes about, well, here's why I'm going to win. Here's all the reasons why I'm going to win and you're going to lose. So it just becomes this one-sided, well, here's why I'm going to win because I'm a blade guy, or here's why I'm going to win because I'm a gun guy. I am both a gun and a knife guy. So I look at the situation differently. It's like, okay, on the 21-foot rule, if I'm the gun guy, what do I need to do to win? If I'm the blade guy, what do I need to do to win? So, you know, it degenerates into this ego-based thing of, you know, well, I'm going to get you because, and I can do this because, and instead of, okay, if you're on this side of if you're on this team, if you're on blade team, how do you win? If you're on gun team, how do you win? What are your advantages, disadvantages, the strategy, techniques, and tactics to pull it off? So anyway, that's what it's all about. And you go from there. And, you know, it doesn't become about the 21-foot rule anymore. It comes, for example, if I'm on the blade team, it's like, well, first of all, I don't want to be at 21 feet. I want to be closer. Can I get closer? Yes, I can. How? Okay, well, there we go. If I'm the gun guy, it's like, you know, what's going to work for me and what's not going to work for me. And to defeat the blade, you need to know the blade. To defeat the gun, you need to know the gun. You know, if I'm the blade guy, I need to know that I can zigzag, but that gun guy can follow my zigzag and still shoot me even though I'm zigzagging. Okay? And also, if you zigzag, you can fall down. That's the tip for you. Why? I know. I've been there. I've done this. Okay? And the other thing is, if the gun guy says, well, I can just move and shoot. Well, okay. You can move, but I can track you. Okay? If I'm the guy with the blade and you're the guy with the gun, and you move, I can follow you. You don't think that at 21 feet I can't see you starting to move and just go towards you? I've done it time and time again. I can do it. You know, I figure out whether you really think that you know, 1 or 2 rounds is going to bring somebody down. It's not. Oh well, it will sometimes, and other times it won't. I mean, anybody that studies police incidents or shooting incidents will tell you that. Anybody who's been hunting knows that. Sometimes you shoot an animal, it just drops to the ground like a sack of potatoes, and sometimes it just acts like nothing happened. And the same thing's going to happen to a guy charging you with a bladed weapon. So, what else about the 21-foot rule? Basically, the 21-foot rule means that at 21 feet, the gun guy and the knife guy are about equal. Actually, favor gun guy. At 21 feet, about the same time that the knife guy, well, no, it's anyway, it's semi-equal. It's borderline advantage knife guy. I mean gun guy. It's borderline advantage gun guy. At 21 feet, the average person can cover that distance running with a knife or a sword in about 1.5 seconds. The average draw of someone that's already draw of a gun that's already expecting something to happen is somewhere around 1.5 seconds. Now, there are exceptional individuals, trained individuals, but we're just saying average people. So it takes 1.5 seconds for a guy with a knife to cover 21 feet and deliver a stab or a slash, and it takes 1.5 seconds for the average guy to draw his gun and put 2 center mass hits on an individual. Okay, that's a good drill, but the most important thing that I want to emphasize about the 21-foot rule is what you need to take away from the 21-foot rule is, number one, he ain't going to be at 21 feet. Number two, you're not going to be ready, okay, for him. Because when you do the drill, you know exactly what's about to happen. Alright, this guy's going to charge at me, and all I need to do is pull my weapon and shoot him. Well, okay. I mean, you already know what's going to happen. Of course you have a huge advantage. I mean, duh. Okay, so what you need to take away from the 21-foot rule is, number one, he probably won't be as far as 21 feet away. He'll probably be closer. Number two, you will not be expecting it. You will be thinking about your divorce, your pay, your boss, the fact that your coffee doesn't taste right. You're thinking about your son. You're thinking about a million different things. You're not thinking about somebody, how fast you can draw because somebody's charging at you. Because you don't know. And then, you know, you talk to these people like Bill Kipp. They're going to talk about the processing loop. You know, you walk out of a 7-Eleven with your donut and your coffee, and all of a sudden you see somebody charging at you. You see somebody take off running, and you're like, what the hell's up with this guy? And so you have to look at him, see what he's doing, notice what he's doing, you know, so it has to go, you know, into your eyeballs, into your brain, have you go, what the hell's going on? then have you say, oh wait, I see what's going on. I see a weapon, he's charging me, this is a violent attack, and then, and only then you say, well hell, I need to drop my coffee and my donut and go at this angle and get my gun out and do this and do that and do the other. So there's a lot of things about the 21-foot rule that actually is counterproductive to your survival. If you practice the Tueller drill, the 21-foot rule, there's a lot of things that are counterproductive to your survival, because you're going to come away complacent. It's like, I can shoot that gun guy at 21 feet. No problem. I can do it. I'm sure. I did it. I did it 20 times. I drilled it this day and that day and 2 weeks ago, and I keep doing it. I keep getting better, and I keep beating him every time. Well, okay, you're complacent. You've screwed yourself over now, because you're not going to know ahead of time what's going to happen. You're not counting on that processing loop. You're not counting on being surprised, having stuff in your hands, not thinking about the processing loop delay. You're not thinking about all those things. You're not thinking about, and I don't care if you know that you shouldn't go backwards or stand your ground. When the adrenaline's on and when you're surprised and your life is in danger, sometimes you do the wrong thing. If you're not a highly trained individual that knows how to evade blades, you will most likely stand your ground or backpedal or maybe even go the wrong way against the blade. So there's a sense of complacency, and also you don't see the real thing when you do the 21-foot rule, and you get some hits on target, whatever you're doing, imaginary plastic gun or a BB gun or an airsoft gun, and you're getting hits on target. Well, that doesn't mean that he is done. That doesn't mean that you have stopped that individual from killing you. Okay? And I don't ascribe to the Japanese philosophy of, I'm going to kill you and it doesn't matter what happens to me. No. I'm not a fan of that. It's like, I need to stop the threat and I walk away without a scratch. That's my objective. So it's anything less than that is a lose. So you can't just say, well, yeah, I shot this guy. Okay, well, did you save yourself at the same time? I don't know. So anyway, if you have any questions about the 21-foot rule, please ask me. If I don't know the answer, if I'm not the proper guy for the answer, if I haven't been there and done that, I'll ask somebody else, because I do know the people that know the answers. Yeah, so the same footwork that the gun guy needs is what the blade guy has. And the same knowledge that the gun guy has is the knowledge that the blade guy needs. So I really think you need to be on both sides of this. You need to be a gun guy and you need to be a knife guy, or ask the opposite side what the answer is. Don't let the gun guy tell you how to nullify a blade, because they only have half the answer. Don't ask the knife guy how to nullify a gun, because they only have half the answer. You need both. You need the gun guy and the knife guy knowledge to figure out how to make this work and how to survive on both sides. Because you're not always going to be on one side or the other. Things happen. What else about the 21-foot rule? You can find me at 21footrule.com.